kids is one of my biggest pet peeves. Carl spent a very long time abusing me and a bunch of other child-free people in a comment section, calling child-free people selfish, deadbeats, people who have no appreciation for the community, and said that if his kids turned out like us, he will consider himself to have failed. This went on for at least a day. Then he caught on that in addition to not wanting kids, I have a health-related reason to never want to be pregnant or have kids. And he suddenly changed his tune. You're not who I'm judging. I'm sorry you went through that. I'm glad you're alive. Except no, you're not. You said that if your kids are joyously child-free, you will have failed. I am joyously child-free. I wouldn't want kids even if I hadn't had a dangerous, life-threatening pregnancy. Aside from being a very scary bump in the road, my ectopic pregnancy did not change my mind as to whether I was going to have kids. I was already child-free when it happened. So the fact that a child-free person has to have a near-death experience for you to grant them your blessing to not be judged by you, yeah, no thanks, you can keep that. You also said that it's totally cool to not have kids if you can't or if it's dangerous to do so. But you also said that people without kids don't contribute to society. And because of that, they don't deserve care in a senior center because they haven't produced the children who are working in that center. But if you have to have kids to deserve care later in life, then infertile and child-free by health people do not deserve care. They have not contributed to society, in your view. As I've said in a million videos by now, if you don't have kids, you don't have kids. The reason doesn't really matter in the end. The reason doesn't change your lack of a child, or in Carl's eyes, the lack of contribution to society. Like, where do you draw the line, Carl? We already know that child-free by choice people are failed garbage in your eyes. You make exceptions for people who are child-free by circumstance, but only certain circumstances, like they would die. What about people who have been pregnant a dozen times, but have miscarried every time? They're trying to be parents, but in the end, don't produce a child. So are they freeloaders too? What if someone has a kid, but that kid dies when they're still in elementary school? Yes, they had a kid, but the kid wasn't really old enough to impact society yet. So it's basically like they didn't have a kid at all, which basically means in Carl's eyes that they did not contribute to society and do not deserve care in their elder years. Therefore, those parents would also be deadbeats, correct? Like, at what level of tragedy do people need to be before going, in your eyes, from acceptably child-free to scum of the earth? You also told me in comments that you are joyous about your life, but people who are actually joyous don't speak to people the way you do.